I don't know how I feel about this, Chewie. In fact, I'd be quite keen to talk to you about this because you're someone who's got
I
a different...
thoughts.
Yeah, because you've got a different learning style than me. Because probably for someone like me, and probably for many of us out there, this probably wouldn't make too big of a difference either way. That's why I'm not going like, oh, this is wrong, or oh, this is right. Yeah, it's a decision. Nationals made a decision today, Chewie. Let's look at that decision.
Open plan classrooms are being scrapped, with the Education Minister promising a change for new school builds. All new classrooms will be built to standard designs. The aim is to have flexibility when needed, such as sliding doors to open rooms, so a range of teaching can be accommodated. The government says a new classroom this year costs $620,000 compared to $1.2 million in 2023.
You know what that is? That's these guys going, well, look how much they wasted. Look how much they wasted. Again, what do we get for the 1.2? Tell us what they got. Like, has yours got 4 walls? Has it got a roof? Explain what the differences are. Then I'll comment whether that was a waste of money or not. Maybe it was.
Open plan classrooms, or modern learning environments, were once considered the learning space of the future. But the Education Minister says overwhelming feedback is they aren't working. Instead of being collaborative, it's harder to manage noise and student behaviour. With more, including the latest region to benefit from new build funding, here's James Fleury.
These Newlands intermediate students in Wellington about to get good news.
So I'm here today to announce that you are going to be getting an extra new 10 classrooms, which is a lot. I know.
It's part of targeted investment for high growth areas, but just how their new...
I think what the kids don't realise, this is an intermediate school, so by the time those classrooms are there, they won't be there anymore because they're only there for 2 years. You're not, sorry kids, don't mean to burst your bubble, but you're not going to see those classrooms?
Classrooms will look were a key part of the announcement.
This government is calling time on open plan classrooms.
Admitting the barnyard-style spaces National first pushed for in 2011 have created challenges.
So multiple governments over multiple years, we've been flip-flopping.
Did you get that? Did you get that slight detail? Don't blame National. Yeah, I know this was National's idea, but don't blame National. I mean, like Labor in 2016 could have changed everything. Labor could have changed everything. They had nothing to worry about for their 6 years. They could have changed it. They didn't. Multiple governments.
Around without any evidence, but the evidence is quite clear that these classrooms are not optimal.
Rangiora High School.
I want to offer one thing, and like I said, I'm not too strongly one way or the other on this, but they do say overwhelming feedback and they do say evidence is clear, but I don't think at any stage they tell us what that is. I would like to know what that is. I would like to see is it the feedback from parents? I don't actually care about that as much. You take it into account, but as much. If it's evidence and research from educational institutions and stuff, I would take that more seriously. So you say the evidence is clear. Now show us what the evidence is.
One of many finding open plan did not work for them. 2 years ago, spending $500,000 of its own money to transform this building into single-cell classes.
Dramatically reduced noise. They also felt a closer connection to their teachers because it was one teacher, 25 students in a single-cell classroom.
But not everyone supports National's backtrack.
You'll find nuggets of teachers, leaders, community members who have experienced success, and I think it's a shame that we let a few loud voices dictate a whole sector.
This is Wesley Primary's 3rd year using open learning spaces with up to 60 students and 3 teachers in its biggest hub.
I think to just wholesalely, get rid of an idea that's working for some schools and for some communities is a little bit short-sighted. And I wonder too if it's, potentially a scapegoat when the underlying factors for underachievement haven't still been addressed.
We will say to schools, if there is an exceptional reason that they would like that style of classroom, that they can put their case to us.
Rangiora High School's principal says the government needs to put money behind today's decision.
Those schools who are left with open learning environments and the media and the government saying they're not working are now faced with pressure from their community to make those changes as well, but they don't have the funds.
The minister saying schools do have budgets and they can use those budgets to change their layouts. James Fleury, One News.
So Chewie, here's the one thing I would say, and then I'll throw you the ball. The one thing I would say is, didn't say it so much in that, but I read an article on this today, and they talked about their plans for building these new cells, these new single cell rooms, is they're all going to have movable doors and like, the ability to open up a space completely if they choose to. So now my question goes, that means it can stay open plan if it wants. So my question to the government is, are you actually instructing these teachers how to teach, or are you providing spaces that can be single cells if they want to be? Because it's very different to say we're going to provide single cells with I can't think what those names of those doors are. They kind of fold back, ching 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 ching, like that, which it seems to be what they're
dividers.
Yeah, it seems to be what they are, which means none of those teachers who are teaching open plan have to change if they don't want to. Or are they actually saying you are not allowed to teach open plan anymore? Because those are two very different things, and that story doesn't give me clarity on that.
So from my understanding of this story is that future classrooms and future school builds will not be open plan. They won't have that. They'll be the traditional classroom sizes. Now, my first reaction when I saw this story, as someone that went through school with ADD and all of that sort of carry on,
Fun stuff.
is a little bit torn. Like, I could see how that sort of large open environment would be very distracting for a child trying to learn with ADD. But I can also see that a traditional classroom was still very distracting. I'd find a distraction. I'll make one if I have to. But I think what is missing out of this is what the government is using to come to this position. Like, they were part of the decision to trial it. Did they find that the schools that were doing it had worse results? Feedback from teachers was really bad, because in that story, as we should, we've got a couple of different points of view. I think it would be a very different skill set for a teacher in an open plan teaching environment to do well. But there is clearly schools that are making it work. So I think the correct thing is here not to take away something that is working for schools, and I think it is the correct thing to support schools that are going, hey, look, it's not working for us, we want to convert back. I just wish there was more flexibility in that, and maybe this is been the whole argument with charter schools, right? Is that a traditional learning environment sometimes doesn't work. That's something I can agree with. So why can't a state school have more flexibility to teach the curriculum in a way that they think will benefit their community? Like, if the school's involved in that decision, like, wow, the teachers here, we've all decided that we want to have single cell classrooms in a more traditional environment. School down the road thinks they can make open plan work because they've been trialing it and it works really well. Why not just support the schools to make the decisions that are right for their communities? As long as they're teaching the curriculum and getting levels of success that the state requires, doesn't matter how they do it. Is that naive?
That was a poll. I saw that as a poll on Stuff today. Basically, should schools be able to teach the way they want to teach? 96% said no.
96% of people believe that schools shouldn't teach the way they want to teach.
It should have to abide by this new idea of no more open plan.
Right. Okay.
It was Stuff, though.
Yeah, well, exactly. Look, I mentioned state schools as well. Charter schools. Did you see that they are wanting to conceal their roles, or they've told these charter schools not to reveal their roles?
No.
Yeah.
How can you tell a school
roles
not to do that?
If they release their roll numbers, we'd be able to work out how much taxpayer money per student.
Here's just to finalise what I was saying. Under the revised policy announced on Wednesday, all future builds will follow standard designs that promote flexibility over open plan layout. Schools could incorporate sliding glass partitions to shift between open and closed settings as needed. So So
That doesn't
again,
sound bad to me.
you know, not to me either, but this is where my kind of bullshit meter goes up. Because if that's what they're doing, then they are still developing open plan schooling. They're just saying to the school, you can choose. But is what they're really saying, we are changing the curriculum or the way you must now teach to single cell rooms. And from time to time, when you want to do something unimportant like art, you can open up the partitions. If the government is instructing the teaching how to teach, that's very different from providing a different kind of space that you can use however you want. You understand what I'm saying?
So, yeah. So now, look, I'm taking my mind back, way back to the olden days when everything was better. I went to Markwell School in Timaru, and it was a very traditional state primary intermediate school.
Yeah.
Like big weatherboard blocks of like 4 classrooms in a line, and then another block and another block. And if my memory serves me right, those classrooms had a big concertina door that could open out onto the veranda. You could open them right up on a nice door, on a nice day. And a lot of those classrooms had another concertina door that you could open up and join the classroom, open up the classrooms or divide them up. So
you could have
like,
so you could
this
have run
isn't
that
a new idea at all.
But this is
It's just the way they used to build schools.
But in that setting, so what you're describing, and thank you, you've made the concertina. That's the word I was looking for. That could have been open plan or not. So that's why I'm saying, what's the announcement about? If they're designing and building skills that could be used either way, what's the announcement? Hey, we're going to put walls in different places, unless there's something else that the next stage is you must now teach like this. That's what I'm suggesting is coming. And that's I have more of a concern with. Because what else is the announcement about? I mean, yes, look, there's walls everywhere. And you go like this, oh, there's no walls. So more to come. Watch this space.